Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Heather, this is Alter Digital, and you've landed on the third class in our series on breathwork. So if you haven't already, please go check out session 1 and 2. You can find links for those classes below. That's going to lay the foundation for this class. So pause this video, go check it out, and meet us back here. All right, so let's begin. Today we explore breathwork for a strong back and healthy core. Why is this important? Well, when we're breathing in and out of our nose, we naturally move our diaphragm. But what's interesting is that if we have set patterns of holding tension here, or maybe we're more of a mouth breather compared to a nose breather, our diaphragm may not be moving as efficiently as it can be. So what we're going to do today is explore a couple different ways that we can feel how our core muscles and our diaphragm work together. So when our core muscles are working more efficiently, when we're breathing in and out of our nose, this helps to move our diaphragm in its full capacity, meaning it's going to push farther down and it's going to be able to lift up into its resting position. So these breath practices that we're going to explore today is not a way that we want to be breathing day to day, and you'll see that would be very silly if we were going around our day-to-day lives and breathing in the way that we're practicing, but we're doing it now as a way to connect in with that felt sensation of our core muscles moving our diaphragm. So we begin. We start seated, so find a comfortable shape in your body. You can be seated something like me. You could have props underneath you, so be sure to find a comfy spot for your bum and for your back and for your hips, so we can focus a little bit more on what's happening here in the lower trunk. So this part of a functional breath is all about keeping the breath low in the torso. So we're going to practice, again, feeling into that sensation in a really strong way. So the breath here is breathing in through your nose, and we're going to push the air out of the mouth with the shh. So just this reminder, this is obviously not how we want to be breathing day to day. This is not how we want to be breathing in our movement practices for prolonged periods of time. This is a great way to begin a movement practice. This is a great way, I would just say that, a great way to begin a movement practice, and we can utilize this as its own sort of breathing technique or tool, which is what we're doing here today. So let's try for, let's say, 4 rounds, yeah? So find our cozy seat, have a moment. Eyes can be open or closed. We'll start to tune in to the breath. Of course, moving in and out of the nose to start off with. Noticing which parts of your torso are moved as you breathe. And I encourage you to be quite forceful with this shush breath out, so you can feel what happens deeply, very deep, those deepest layer of core muscle. This is helping to move our diaphragm up into its resting position on the exhale and into its contracted position on the inhale. Yes, so we take a breath in together and we shh, relax your shoulders and keep pushing the air out. Shh, behind the teeth. Shh. All the air out, all the air out, all the air out. And then let go of that contraction here in the lower core. We feel the breath moving outward, frontward, and backward. This 3D breath on the inhale, that exhale. Shh. Push, 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 push. Feel what's happening. Navel drawing back, sideways cinching in, nose breath in. Let those core muscles relax on your breath in and feel what happens, the opposite, that sense of expansion, of filling up. And then on the exhale again, shh, all the air out one more time. Okay, nose breath. So as we come out of that, I just want you to pause for a moment. Seated, you could be standing, or you can come to lay down on the front of your body, as that's where we're going to next. And this idea of, again, just kind of like noticing what we're noticing. We're being the experiment of all these ways of connecting in today with the mechanics of the breathing process. So with our diaphragm, with our core muscles. Experiencing that sense of now subtle expansion and maybe just a subtle release, right? So it's a lot sort of quieter and more subtle as we're just breathing naturally in and out of our nose. And just continue to pay attention to that as you come to lay down on your front sides. We're going to come down to the floor, laying down on the belly. We'll create a little pillow for our forehead. If you need to wiggle your body around in a way or put any props underneath you so you can be in this shape for a couple minutes of time, feel free to do that. So let's arrive here on the front side, prone on our bellies, taking the next layer of this exploration, using the floor as this feedback tool, and taking what we just did, but rather than breathing out of the mouth with that shh breath, I'm going to see if we can get that same level of core contraction, but breathing out of the nose. So let's just for a few breaths here, feel that sense of global expansion into the back body, the sides, and the front as we breathe in. So let's attend to the breath in, pushing the low belly, the mid belly, the upper core into the floor, and feeling what happens in the back and the sides and the front of the lower trunk. And then that exhale, you're going to push the air out. Gentle scooping in of the low belly and the side waist, the bottom of that exhale. Again, breath in. Feel a little bit more into this inhale right now. Top core, middle belly, lower belly, pushing, pushing, pushing into the floor. Notice what's happening in the back, lower back, around the tailbone, middle back, side waist, and then again, exhale, exhale, push, like you're shushing now, but it's out of the nose. Those core muscles contracting, bottom of the exhale, subtle swooping in and up, low belly. And then let's attend a little bit more now to the exhales. Similar breath in. Being so curious, what's possible to feel happening inside? Core muscles moving the diaphragm all the way up into its resting position. Let's try 2 more breaths like this. Slow and low. Low in the torso. Slow breath in. A longer, slower breath out. Again, here as a practice, as a tool. This is not the way that we would be breathing day to day necessarily with these very large volumes of air, but here as a way to help us to sense and feel how the core muscles move our diaphragm. And then let's, for a few rounds, consider less volume of air in and out of the nose. But is it still possible to feel some motion of that expansion and that now more subtle contraction of your core muscles as you exhale? Slight drawing in, core muscles relaxing as we breathe in. Good, and let's let the attention drift away from that breathing process and feel back into the whole of the body. Notice if there's a particular stretch that would feel delicious to move into right now, or if it feels comfortable to stay in the shape that you're in. Could be a child's pose. You could come back up to your seated shape. Any subtle motion that would feel good for you in this moment. And as we generally will, a few extra seconds here. Let's take about 10 to 15. Notice what we notice. Observe which areas of your body you might feel a little more connected to and aware of. And let's plant this seed together, this little intention seed, this idea of continuing with this at some point throughout this next week. So the practice might be just to notice when and if the breath is staying low in the torso. So number one, we can initiate that, as we know from session 1, with just breathing in and out of our nose. But then we can thread this extra intentionality into this, where just at some point, no one needs to know you're doing this, right? We could just push the air out of the nose, right? And let go of that strong contraction and let the breath come back in. So we have this sort of pulsing motion in the lower torso as we're moving throughout our lives. So the breath isn't going way up here. Yes, we're keeping the breath low in the torso. So we might need to let go of sucking in our bellies, right, more often throughout the day, so our diaphragm can move a little bit more freely. We're breathing in and out of the nose, as we know, as often as possible. And we're embodying this lower part of our body, tuning into it, attending to it, noticing it, loving on it with this motion of breath in and out. Thank you so much for showing up today. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for weekly updates. And next week, we'll be back with a class on breathing less and how this can oxygenate our bodies more. If you're looking for more free resources on breathwork, meditation, mindful movement, check the description of this class for further links. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you so much.